guys, I hope you're all doing well out there today. So today's topic is going to be based on creating, or how do you create long legato lines, keeping your stamina there, your timing, and your phrasing really. So I'm going to break down some of the exercises that I like to do to enable me to create some of these long legato lines that I do, and resolve it nicely as well. Before I do get on with today's lesson and topic, please think about subscribing to the channel by hitting the subscribe button below. Please give the video a share, write a comment, give it a thumbs up and all that. Also, what do you make of it? How does your legato feel at the moment? Do you find yourself struggling to keep your stamina up? Do you find yourself struggling to really know where you're going along the fretboard? So yeah, let me know in the comment section. So this is probably the most asked and requested thing I get, is how do you create long lines and keep your stamina going and just keeping the time in there. So it really has to start with, I think, some really basic, I say basic, not basic, but start with taking a step back. Instead of going over the track and trying to play fast, start with just the metronome and playing really slow. So over the improvisation I did at the start, I worked out the BPM was about 100. Okay, so what I would do first, before I played over this track today to show you, is I put like 100 BPM click on, and I just started getting the timing and the feel right of it first before I even attempted to play over the track. There's a few different things and angles we need to come from. So one, to create long flowing legato lines, we firstly need good time. So time feel is number one. How do you create good time feel? So this comes down with the metronome. For me personally, it was how I created, or started to improve my time feels, the work with a click. Okay, you can also do this with, like, obviously if you're playing live with great drummers all the time, that's naturally going to help. But when you're in the practice room, a metronome is the most honest representation of where you are. It never lies, right? So you've got the old trusty phone. So say if I set up the metronome at 100, I would just start playing quarter notes at this tempo and just locking in the best I can. So I'm in the key of A minor. Actually, even just without playing quarter notes first, I maybe play half notes. So I'm playing one note every 2 beats. So it'd be... Now I know that sounded boring, okay, but we're leveling up, so this is like a level 0, okay? But this is what it takes to be able to get that long flowing lines when you go through the subdivisions. So I'm just building up the subdivisions is what I'm doing here. So now, let's try quarter notes. So I'm using hammers and pulls. Okay, so we're building up slowly but surely. Then I would start to look at eighth notes. So it'd be ba 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 ba. Now you must be able to pick up those subdivisions just automatically, and that comes from the work you do with a click. Okay, so I'll go against the track now and just do that, and then I'll show you how to find the subdivisions, and then we're going to up it from there. So let's play those against the track so you know what it sounds like. Okay, so half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarter notes. Really straightforward. And when I am upping the subdivision here, I know it's not fast at all at the minute. I'm really keeping things light. I'm not pressing hard. I'm not hammering and pulling off hard. Because what I want to happen is when I go to the faster subdivision, I want my technique to stay the same. So it may be easy to play at this speed. Yeah, I'm not talking about the speed. I'm talking about the technique of how hard I'm hammering on and how much I'm pulling off. It's the same. I'm trying to keep the technique exactly the same. Exactly. This will make your technique obviously more consistent, but also when the subdivision goes up and the faster I go, I can keep that same skill and the technical thing that I've worked up from that slow tempo. Because what I find a lot of guys do is they can play at that tempo, that's fine, yeah, that's pretty straightforward. But when they up the subdivision, this is where things go wrong, and they start to sort of fall over their fingers, as it were. So let's up the subdivision now. I'm going to keep the technique exactly the same. Okay, so we just played eighth notes going. Now I'm going to go to triplets. So a good way you can count triplets is triplet, 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 triplet. Okay, so here we go. So now what you want to do is you want to go through those subdivisions without stopping. So start with quarter notes like da, 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 eighth notes, ba, 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 then triplets, da, 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 da. And you want to be able to find the subdivision like this, okay? So we're going to do that, and then I'm going to go back to back through each. So quarter notes. Eighth notes. Triplets. Back to quarter notes. So I'm just doing 2 bars on each. Eighth. And that was triplets to follow. What you want to go on and do then is do 16th notes and then 16th note triplets as well, if you can do that. So I'll just demonstrate quickly 16th notes and then 16th note triplets, and then what you want to do is join them all together. 16th note sounds like this. Sixteenth notes, I'll do that again. Okay, now let's go for the 16th note triplets. Whoa, string! Sorry about that, guys. My string broke on the telly, so I've had to replace the guitar. But yeah. Anyway, these things happen. So where was I? Yeah, so going between the subdivisions, you must be able to pinpoint the subdivisions and get that time feel there. The second point obviously goes without saying. You have to be relaxed. You have to be relaxed. That is 1 and 2, the time and the relaxation of your hands. Okay, you can't tense up because then that is when things will go wrong. You have to keep really relaxed. I'm hardly, hammering on with the left hand. I'm just doing it enough, okay? So I can, get the note out, obviously. And Rick Graham talks about this, how he uses as little tension as possible. He says, take a note, push down with the note on the left hand, pick it, and just slowly start to bring up that left hand till it chokes out. And then put a bit more pressure back on, you know how hard you have to push down to get the note out. It's not a lot at all, so I'm really conscious of that, and that happens to build that kind of technique in through slow playing. So I'm really kind of boring, I guess you could say, to do that drill. But when you start playing along with the track and you want to get that kind of fast legato going, your stamina's just there. You could do that all day, really. If I play it now, I'll see how long I can go with. So yeah, you can go on with that. My hand is not once tired. All I'm thinking is about keeping relaxed and keeping a good time. With those two combined, practicing slowly so you can see the fretboard. Obviously, it goes without saying, you need to know the fretboard a bit, okay, to be able to see where you're going. But I think a lot of guys, it's just the stamina kind of thing. They can see where they're going, but they kind of fumble, and that's from not practicing and drilling the technique really nice and slow. So what can we do to build it up in stages? Now, what I would start doing is maybe playing a legato line using the subdivision of your choice, and then just trying to resolve it on a note and just let it breathe. So it just gives you that building block. So I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to just start with quarter notes, okay, for 2 bars, and then just land on a note. So I might go. Okay, and I'll do that again, so quarter notes. Now I'm going to try 8th notes. And again. Now I might try triplets. And again, triplets. Uh, 16th notes. Okay, so I'm just building and building. Again, 16th note. Now I might just double up on that, so 4 bars. And so on and so forth. See what I mean? So just try and build up your target of how many bars you want to do legato for. So just do 1 bar and then resolve it to a note. Have a break. Do 2 bars. Have a break. Do 3 bars. And just build up from there. If you want to do 7, 8 bars, you know, you can. It's good to know that you can go that far. But obviously when you're playing, it's going to be a bit much if it's just on and on and on. You don't want endless notes, you know, you want to be musical with it and do have those pauses and spaces. But this is purely just an exercise to help you gain that stamina, and it's there if you want it. Like I say, it's probably the most asked question I get of how do you create these flowing lines, and it's down to starting from base level, ground zero, and working your way up, building that subdivision so you can feel it before you play it, and secondly, relax and take your time with it, basically. So those are the 2 things I'm always thinking about when I'm playing legato. Hope that makes sense, guys. I'll post the backing track below in the description because it's quite a nice tempo for you to practice that. Play with a metronome. I can't stress that enough. If you start with the metronome first, it becomes a lot easier in time, no pun intended. But anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up below. It really does help out. Please write a comment. Love you guys interacting. Yeah, share the video if you like and subscribe to my channel. Guys, thanks. Enjoy the rest of your Monday and see you in the next one.